Hi, my name is Jim Dreisacker. I'm the owner and inventor of the Batcone, and today we're going to discuss how to use my product in various applications for bat removal. First, I'd like to introduce the products that I use for bat removal. The first is the Batcone. Very simple product, very simple system. What's nice about this product, it has a solid flange on the bottom that allows you to staple it or mount it with duct tape in any position you like. The key with all the Batcone products, you always want to have a slight angle to allow the bats to fly out. Just to taper it, there's no way they can get back in. Just to show one application here, I have a attic vent louver and a mock setup here where I screen off the louver and then I install the cone at the very bottom. I leave one corner open and I'll cut the Batcone to fit into this particular spot. That allows the bats to fly out, and I'll give it a couple days before I come back and put a new screen on it. The second product is a Pro Cone. What's nice about this product, it has a soft vinyl flange, which allows more versatility in mounting the product in any particular area where the bats are entering the house. You can mount it here in the corner of a soffit, next to the chimney area. You can staple it or screw it or tape it. If you have a ridge cap they're coming out of, you can put it on the end of the ridge cap, tape it over in place, leave it up for a couple days, the bats will leave. The third product I came up with is a Batcone 2 or BC2. This product is much more durable. It's a harder plastic. I have mounting flanges built into the product with screw holes to mount the product in place, or staples. It also can be used with a flange. Again, you have multiple uses with this product. You have a little mini flange plus the vinyl flange to mount it in various spots. Without the flange, you can get into tighter areas, especially chimney areas, the corners of soffits. With the flange, again, it just gives you more versatility. Now that you're familiar with my various Batcone products, I'd like to discuss the tools that I use to install the Batcones. First tool that I use quite a bit is a staple gun, and how I'll use this is to fasten the flange of the Batcone in place. Also to temporarily tack a screen over a vent or louver. The next tool that you're going to need is a pair of good tin snips. I like the Whisk tin snips. They're high quality, they're easy to use, easy to sharpen, and they'll last you quite a while. Third tool that you'll need is a caulking gun. Caulking guns, you can buy a cheap one for $5 to $10, or you spend $20 to $30 and buy a high quality one like this one here. The next tool that I use quite a bit is a foam gun. This one here has a 24-inch barrel. This is great, an awesome tool if you know how to use it. I would recommend, if you want to use a foam gun, purchase one and practice on a big sheet of cardboard. It has an adjustable screw in the back here that adjusts the flow of the foam coming out of the gun. So what you want to do is just practice beads on the cardboard, open it up so you can see the flow rate coming out. So when you're sealing openings, you don't over apply the foam. One drawback to this, it is a polyurethane foam. If it gets on the side of a house, it's not coming off. So it's a great tool, but you have to learn how to use it. This is just a smaller version of a foam gun. I like to also carry with me a heavy pair of leather gloves if I do run any bats on site. I use various types of tape to fasten the Batcones to different surfaces. One of the best is the painter's tape because it's just sticky enough to mount the cone. And when you want to come back 3 or 4 days later, it's easily removed. The other product is duct tape. The problem with duct tape, if you leave it for any length of time, it will leave a residue behind on the house. So depending on where you're using the cone, you want to really make sure you use the right product to fasten it to the house. Occasionally I use screws to fasten the Batcones. I use the Tex lath screws, come in different sizes, 1.25 inch, 1 inch. And I use this for the screening that I install to keep the bats from coming into homes. I use quite a bit of screws to fasten my screen to the attic vents and louvers. I recommend a good quality screw gun to do that. There's two types of screen I use. I use 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch. If I know I'm only dealing with bats, I always go with a 1/4 inch. If there's going to be raccoons or squirrel problems on the vents, you might want to bump it up to a 1/2 inch, which is a little heavier duty and more durable than a 1/4 inch. How I fasten the 1/4 inch to the house, I use the latch screw, which is nice because the head of the screw will not fit through the hole of the screen, so it's self-sealing. If I'm using 1/2 inch, then I'll go with a washer on the screw, and that gives me the right width on the screen to allow the screw to be fastened properly and to hold the screen in place. Another product called foam backer rod that you can use, and again, if you're not comfortable with a foam gun, it's a great product to seal up the fascia boards along here or the edge of the chimney. You might want to put a little silicone in behind the rod before you put it in to hold it in place. Another product I use to seal around the cones is just AC foam. You can buy it in most home supply stores. It'll fit on the sides of the cone when you're just trying to tighten up the cone for fit. It's very soft. You can actually break it with your hands. You don't need any scissors. You can wedge it in different spots. It's really simple to use. Again, if you're going to use it to fill a hole, make sure you back it up with some silicone. These are all the basic tools that I use for bat proofing or bat exclusion work. The only tools I don't have here, I use several extension ladders, 24, a 32, and a 40 are most common in my area. Also have a 6-foot step ladder. If you're not comfortable on ladders, I recommend that you hire a roofer or a painter, that someone's good on ladders to help you, assist you in doing this work. You're working up high. If you're not comfortable on a ladder, I do not recommend you do this type of work. Some of the common areas bats will enter a house are on the fascia and soffits of a house, especially in contemporary homes. They'll go underneath the rake board and roost right in this area. They can't get into the house right here, but they'll roost. The problem you have is if they go into the corner right in here, that'll put them into the attic, and that's many times how they get into homes. The attic vents or louvers on the ends of the houses. We're going to look for a grease mark or a spot where the panel is actually dirty. You're going to look here for bat droppings. You look on the ground below the vent for droppings, and that'll indicate where the bats are using that vent to get into the house. The other common area is the ridge vent or ridge cap. They make this in several different types of material, corrugated, a fiber. This is an old style. This is aluminum ridge cap. A lot of times these caps will fall off and the bats can go right in, because actually in the ridge there's a slot cut to allow the heat out of the house. So if the caps come off the ends, the bats can easily go into the attic. Other common areas are the inside corners of a chimney. You want to look in here where the mortar is separated from the wood of the house. They love to go in there because they can actually roost against that chimney. It's cool in the summertime. It gives them something to hold on to if it's a brick or stone chimney. When you have a false chimney where this is just a wooden box and there's metal tubes in the middle, they'll actually come underneath this fascia board on the top of the chimney, or the cap. That's another area you need to check, especially on contemporary homes. Another area is the chimney itself. You have 1700, 1800 homes in your area that are very old and it's brick lined. I've had bats actually roosting inside the chimney itself. Another area, you can have a broken window in an attic. They'll go in and out an opening like that. It's not that common, but I've seen it happen. Another location is the inside corner of the flashing on the roof. All around the chimney area is a very common spot where bats will come in, especially if the flashing isn't fastened properly. The bats can easily go under there and down into the attic space. I hope this information has been helpful to you. If you'd like to reach me further, or if you'd like to order my product, you can go to my website at www.batcone.com, and remember, when in doubt, cone them out.